Hello knockouts, Tonya TKO here, and I am a self-love specialist from TonyaTko.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments in our own lives for dating, relationships, and self-love. This is part 3. Oh, yes, it is. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2 yet, go on and watch those because it gives you context for where we're about to go. We're talking about Love is Blind and that whole big boondoggle that existed between Carlton and Diamond. So he's the black guy on the show who had a bisexual secret, and how it all culminated on the show and blew up in all of our faces. In this video, we're going to jump and dive into that fight. We're going to talk about his manipulation tactics 303, this advanced level psyops that he is performing on the young lady and on us. And if we have enough time in this video, we're going to show you what Carlton is really like when he's not putting on his heterosexual airs, when he's not pantomiming what he feels a heterosexual black man looks, sounds, and walks like. So, before we jump into that, the way that you support my videos and support yourself, this is my book of affirmations, self-love. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and these are the most powerful, most potent affirmations that I did to get myself out of living in my car to living a vibrant, thriving life. So this book is life-changing. Read the reviews, get it for yourself, and see the change happening in your life. Also, if you love my flawless skin, as you see, no foundation. As you see, no foundation. Because I believe that the best makeup is no makeup. Get made up when you wake up. Flawless, baby. That's what I believe in. I believe in taking care of yourself from the inside out. Use the book of affirmation self-love and rewrite that subconscious programming. Put the vitamin E on the outside and shift your skin into vibrant, plump, even-looking skin. You can find out about it on my website. Those who know. I only sell it once a year. So I'm making this available for you all. And you can support my videos and support yourself by going out and getting that vitamin E for yourself right now. It's a very special vitamin E. Go and read about it. In other videos, I'll talk more about it, but I just want to drop a little hint. Those people on my mailing list, they hear about when it's launched first and foremost. So listen, let's jump into this part 3. Oh, Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. I go.
My heart feels like it's split into two. So on one hand, I feel blindsided. I feel like, was this really true love? Is this real? But then on the other hand, it's just somebody that I know that I'm like, I want to be with, because I have built a relationship and a foundation with him that I've never had before. I love Carlton. I hope that it's going to be okay. It's going to work itself out. But I do know that I need to talk to him. I need to see him. I need to get some things off my chest.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
I can only answer in French. Comme si, comme ça.
Okay.
How you feeling?
I feel good.
You look good.
You too. I like your shoes.
Ooh.
Warm, right?
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm glad I get to see you again.
Yeah. I'm feeling like I'm physically in paradise, but not mentally there.
Where you at mentally?
I mean, it's a lot going through my mind. Like, I feel like I kept it real from you since day one. I personally feel that you left out who you really are.
Like, I get how you feel. I get that you probably feel betrayed.
I kind of feel you kind of played the experiment in a way. I feel that you weren't honest with me from the get-go. I felt like that should have been established.
I was honest. I wanted you to get to know me for me.
Yeah.
That's always been
part of you,
the strategy. That has never been an issue with girls. It's never.
Then why did you tell me in the beginning?
Because in the beginning, you will prejudge me.
But you said it's never been an issue with girls.
Would you have really, if I would have told you on the first date, would you have really given me a chance? You wouldn't have.
I'd rather you have told me up in front. I would be able to make a better decision, or be able to say, okay, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but you know for sure you want to be with a female. This is how I personally felt and how I slept on it.
last night she was rubbing my back. She's like, give me a hug. Let me talk
See?
to you. I'm here for you. And then today, it's like all of a sudden you have an issue with it. Nah. Do you really think that I would be here if I didn't have real feelings? Like, just, like, what, for a trip? It's like, I don't know. Whatever. Show your true colors. I've shown mine.
No, you haven't shown your true colors. Not from the beginning.
But I did last night.
Yeah, but you waited all the way to literally 4 weeks away from our wedding to show your true colors.
Okay, cool. So you want to
that's
call
fine?
it off?
That's fine for
I'm
you
saying
to do that?
it's whatever you want at this point,
But I'm
because
just
you're
saying,
giving
like,
me
you
a
don't
response different from
understand.
any response that I've ever gotten, and
You're
I'm not
so
gonna,
defensive with it, though.
because I'm not gonna subject myself to that. I have to be
I'm
defensive.
just
Nobody
saying
has fought for
how
me
I feel
except
about
me.
it. Nobody fought for me either. But at the same time, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you about it. I don't have to sit here and talk to you about this.
If you don't want to, you don't have
But
to.
I want to, because I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't, okay? So don't try to play the victim here,
But
okay?
it's insulting me at this point.
It's insulting you.
Yeah,
Also,
it
this
is.
whole process is not
Yeah.
insulting to me.
Well, I'm not here to disrespect you. You want some other shit
I
right
know,
now that
I'm
I
on
can't
some
fuck
real
with.
stuff, and this is part of real life. I'm here to have communication, open communication with you, and just communicate what is the problem and how to address it, not make matters worse.
I'm okay
but so
with
you
or
don't care
without.
no feelings about
I'm
how
okay
you took me
with
through
or
this.
without this situation. I am okay.
Well, you know what? I ain't got
Like,
time
Look.
for this because you having a bad attitude.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
throw
this
it.
ain't
Throw
for
it.
you.
Have your moment.
You have your moment.
Like, seriously, you're taking off your ring because I'm being honest.
No.
You'd rather a man lie to you about who he's been with or his past? Like, that's insane. I don't need that type of energy in my life. Have your moment.
Goodbye. You can go because you got some
You need
issues,
it.
and I see
I
it
have
now.
issues because
Yes,
I'm
you
telling
do.
my
You
truth.
have some serious issues. So the fact
Nah,
that you're
you're
gonna
typical.
disrespect me,
You're
Listen.
you're gonna disrespect me because how I
I'm
feel. Because
disrespecting
you
you.
led me to
I'm
believe that you
disrespecting
really
you
was
because you're
into
showing
me.
that. Oh, I do.
No, you don't.
You're
Because
not
if you
gonna
did,
take
you
it.
would have been here and
You're
told me
not-
from the day
I know who
one
I
that
am.
Diamond,
I have
am
a method.
bisexual.
I don't have to
I do
disclose
this,
I do
information
that. You
that I'm
don't
not
have
ready
to.
for somebody. Like, I have disclosed information to people
But you don't think
too
that's
soon
misleading for
and
other
being
people?
called all
We
types
about to
of
go here
names.
and walk down the aisle.
Nobody has
and you
ever
never
had
told
an
me.
issue with it except you, and it was
Oh,
girls who
okay.
wasn't even like remotely close to who you are.
Well,
if you
I'm
were this
Diamond
person,
Jack.
okay,
I'm not
good.
who these other
I ain't
girls you've
fucking
been
with
talking
you like
to.
that.
I don't
I ain't-
care.
I
You're
ain't.
not fucking with
I
me.
ain't. You're
I
not
gave
the
you
one.
your ring back.
I don't give a fuck about a ring. Fuck a ring.
Oh, gosh.
Fuck a ring. This is why I don't deal with bitches like you.
Oh, I'm a bitch now. You gonna call me a bitch in my face?
I don't deal with women like you.
Fuck you. Fuck you, fucker.
Nah, fuck
Damn,
like
huh?
me.
Fuck you.
Bye.
Kids, look,
And
watch
fix-
my ass to the next dick,
Now,
boy.
watch your wig, because it keeps sliding.
Who
It's
the
been
fuck
sliding
do
since
you
day one.
think I am?
Your wig been
You ain't
sliding
married
since day
to no
one.
average bitch,
Peace
boy.
out.
Shut the fuck up.
Peace out.
Like, oh, you so fucking. Oh.
You're mad because I'm telling the truth. I have clearly realized that this is not the woman for me. She has proven herself to be ignorant. She has proven herself to be stereotypical. I feel betrayed just as much as she feels betrayed. So fuck her. I don't give a fuck at this point. I don't.
Look, look. Oh, I wish you could see this. Oh, you can. Oh, God. And then she's crying. This part was heartbreaking. Then they started playing music, so I had to cut it out. But she's crying. She's on the desk with her head down. Her lashes are off. It's
I
like...
was literally about to walk down the aisle with someone that clearly I didn't know. And I feel like it shouldn't have got that way. I was really there just to talk to him and tell him how I felt. I was hoping he could be a man about it and talk to me. But no real man would act like that. So it's a done deal with us.
Yeah, so I had to cut it out because of the music. Let me see if they come back in and say anything. But listen, I want you to get your notes together because we're going to dive in. And it doesn't seem like we're going to have enough time in this video to... So now he's just hanging out by the pool. So now she's gone. He's by the pool enjoying himself. And then... Okay, hold on.
Just want to get away from here. Yeah, I don't have nothing else to say.
This was sad.
That's why I said I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to make it through. Like I said, I'm built from a strong cloth, so I'm not going to allow this to stop anything from me. Yeah. That's all.
Your bad love is trouble. God knows we're in deep. If hurt's gonna rain down, amen, so it be.
So dramatic, this music. And then after this, they
The
just
romantic getaway
listen to
definitely
him.
did not go as planned. I'm not the dude that she had it out with at the pool. I'm the dude that she fell in love with in the pods.
I can't see my life without you. I love you.
One of the happiest days of my life. Hi, how did...
And then they're just showing them leaving the hotel right now. I think that's pretty much it.
I feel like
Okay.
both of our hearts and who we truly were at the core and who we truly are got overshadowed by assumption, defense, and pride. I'm leaving here without my fiance. It's beautifully sad.
Sad to say, I am walking out the resort alone. I want to be married. I want to fall in love, but I didn't get that.
Listen, I think that's pretty much it from there. They just go into the van and then go about their business from there. Listen, this was a lot to take in. This was a lot. And so I want you to tell me, what is it that you picked up on? Because there was so much. This is some advanced level manipulation here. Let me tell you what it is that he did. Let me tell you. Give me 1 second. Let me close this. All right, let me tell you what it is that he did. One of the best things that she did, and something that I encourage you all to do, that if you're going to be in an argument with a person, don't tell a person who they are and what they did. Say what it is that you felt, how it is that you interpreted things, and that's what she did. And then he starts trying to gaslight her. She comes out saying, I feel that it was this way. I feel that you did this, right? Those are just her feelings. Everybody's feelings are legitimate and deserve to be acknowledged. If a person feels a certain way, that's something that's coming from the inside of them and the way that they feel, right? Then she's like, you know what? I feel like I was real with you from day one, and I feel like you kind of held some of this stuff back. That's when he starts trying to overtalk her, trying to control the situation, because he sees the situation as out of control now at this point, or the situation is beginning to get out of control. What he's interested in doing is trying to bully her now at this point, right? Then he's going to talk about how... Then he's like, oh, I want people to like me for me. But she's like, that is a part of who it is that you are. He knew from the jump that when he came in there, he had this secret, and that secret was a part of who it is that he is. So then why now is he pretending as if that's not a part of who it is that he is? So much so that it had him fraught with nervousness all throughout the night, all throughout the process. Eyes bloodshot and glassy from alcohol, from plowing himself. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Then he's going to try to gaslight her and be like, it's never been an issue with other girls. Then he's going to be like, would you have given me a chance? He already said, remember when I did like this in the first part and I told you to listen? Because he already said that he told people in the past and they left him. Now he's going to try to be like, oh, there's never been a problem for other girls. Then he starts getting defensive. And then he's like, he has to be defensive because he has to fight for himself, because nobody's going to fight for him. He's fighting a woman? What the hell are you doing, sir? Sir, the hell are you doing? This is when the true bitchiness in him starts coming out. When the true queen in him starts coming from beneath. And this is precisely why there are people who are apprehensive about getting into a relationship with men who have been with other men. In his own delusion, he thinks that there's no difference. In his own delusion, he thinks that he can skate by and skirt by and pass. In his own delusion, he thinks that he can just put on some masculine airs and some aura and go by undetected in life, in his own delusion. And then in the next part, I'm going to do a bonus clip and where I'm going to show you who the real Carlton is, who the real him is, his mannerisms. He looks like a completely different person. I'm going to show you some posts that he's been putting up online, playing the victim. He doesn't see how he participated, or he refuses to acknowledge how he participated in where it is that he got to on that show. So then he's like, then he's the one who starts escalating it. I'm okay with or without this situation. Then he's asking her, you want to call it quits? He's upset because he never got a chance to get her to commit to a certain train of thought that she would tie and rope herself into. This is why he came out, and when he was talking to the cameras, he was like, oh, last night she was rubbing my back and all of this. He's like, nah, get out of here. Really? She was trying to comfort you because you were causing a damn scene. Remember how he was like, I'm going to get you a pogo stick to hop out of your feelings, being all abusive and everything? People like him, manipulators, they will try several different things to see what resonates with you, to see what buttons they can push of yours, to see what they need to do to get your sympathy, to see what they can do to make you sad, to see what they can do to make you angry. And if you notice, he's the first person who introduced profanity into this discussion. He's the first person who started introducing, escalating things to the next level over and over and over again. So he's like, he starts using the profanity. He's like, I'm okay with or without you. He's like, oh, now she's taking her ring off. Of course, this is not the situation she signed up for. She didn't sign up for that. Then he's like, I don't have to disclose too soon. He took her off the market. Remember, there were other men there. And he took her off the market so that nobody else could have access to her. He found out what her insecurities were and how he could exploit those insecurities and those fears. He took her out of the dating pool, brought her into this situation knowing that he had a secret that he didn't disclose to her, and now claiming that he doesn't have to disclose. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And then he's going on and on talking about nobody had issues. He's done this too soon. And then he's like, I ain't effing with you now, because the profanity that he began to bring in didn't get it there. Then he was like, you know what? Let me take it to the next level now. And then he escalates it by using the F-bird, dropping F-bombs, right? And this is, and then he's like, then that didn't work. It didn't work. So then he was like, you know what? I'm going to call her a bitch. He started calling her stereotypical before that. Typical. Calling her typical now. Now, first, remember, he wanted her to side and align with him because he's a black man who's been beat down by the parents, not allowing him to be sensitive. And now he's going to be like, you're typical. Then he's going to talk about she's stereotypical. Now, all of those Mother Earth, all of that healing energy that he needed from the black woman, then all of a sudden, when he couldn't exploit her, when he couldn't get what it is that he needed, then it's time to attack her, calling her typical. Then he calls her a bitch. He's like, this is why I don't deal with bitches like you, right? And then that's what it took to really kind of get her out of her element. And she stood up and she splashed her drink on him. And then she decides that she's going to walk away from the situation. And then you see that he gets ready to start talking about, he was like, oh, and fix your... And then she's like, you ain't, then she starts quoting Beyonce. For those of you who don't know, that's from the Beyonce Lemonade album, where she was like, you ain't messing with no average bitch boy. And then she just go, bitch boy. And then she just goes on into, into her song, right? Then he's like, no, watch your wig. This is when the queen starts, the full-fledged, it comes all out. No, watch your wig. It's been slipping this whole time. But yeah, but that's the woman that you wanted to marry. You saw her wig. At first, I was laughing at her wig too, because it was unbelievable. But after seeing this situation and seeing how she was done, and you know what? The irony is not lost on us, that a woman who had somebody else's scalp and hair plastered on her head, a person who really wasn't presenting herself as herself, attracted a man who wasn't presenting himself as himself. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that we can all look into a little bit more. Then he goes into the confessionals and he's like, I'm not the dude that she got into it with at the pool. And this is where a lot of people make their misconceptions. Yes, that is you. That is you. And that is you. You are not just one part of a whole. You are the whole. You are the person who likes penis. You are the person who claims he likes vagina. You were the person who argued with her by the pool and became a full-fledged queen, talking about her wig and calling her a stereotype. Oh, and I wanted you all to see how he filleted that that bottle of champagne. So he pops open a bottle of champagne, and the bottle of champagne starts climaxing into the air, and he starts catching it, and he's just catching it in his throat, and then he like squirts, he spits, he doesn't swallow. I was like, the symbolism, look at what this man is doing. He's catching the bubblies in his throat, and then he's like spitting out the excess. And I was like, oh, is that how you do it, girl? Right? Is that how you do it? And so listen, we've gone to 20 minutes in this video, so we're going to have to do a bonus where we jump into showing you the real Carlton. Oh yes, who he truly is, his true man. You won't even recognize him. But stay tuned for that in the bonus, where I'm going to be putting that video up after this one. But I wanted you all to see this 3-part. And I want you all to tell me, because there's some things that I didn't get to talk about for time constraints, but I want you to tell me in the comments your thoughts and feelings about this whole situation. She was done dirty. He didn't have to do her like that. And for this to be the only black couple on the show, and the fact that this is the black couple that made the cut, look, there's some programming going on out there in Hollywood. And there's a lot of, you know, I see that we're going to also have to talk about Cameron and Lauren. I see that we're going to have to talk about that too. Because there were only 2 relationships with black women on there. This one where she was with a black man and he was bisexual, and the other one where she was with a white man. But we'll talk about that in a future video. But listen, don't talk about it here. Don't talk about it here, because we're going to dive all deep into that when we do a dedicated video just to that. So listen, Tonya TKO, and I am out. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? That's right, love yourself. Love yourself. And part of loving yourself, oh my goodness. Part of loving yourself, you know what, let's take it to the last point. Part of loving yourself is accepting yourself, accepting all parts of yourself, and realizing that all parts of yourself are you. You are the bitchy person, you are the stoic person, you are the loving person. It's like, there's this really great book by Debbie Ford, which is called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Go read that book about really accepting your shadow side and doing shadow work, because you can't really fully flourish and thrive unless you are doing that shadow work. And once you finish doing that shadow work, go and get my book of affirmation self-love as well on Amazon. The link is in the description, and I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO. Peace. Thank you for watching. Make sure you thumbs up the video. Make sure that you're subscribed and that you turn on the bell notifications to be notified of when I have a new video. Leave your comment below. Come over to TonyaTKO.com to send me a message, submit a topic, subscribe to my mailing list, or find out more about matchmaking. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.